Okay, we decided to go through with the possum here because they are one of the only animals that eat ticks. And so they're really good to have around. This is a possum. This is their hides. And they're quite friendly. They will not attack you. If you come up to them, all they're going to do is hiss. They're not going to charge you. They will fall over and be stiff and play dead. But they're marsupials, and they're nocturnal. And the mom carries them all on their backs. And they have a little pouch that they go in.
We found them in our apple orchard.
Yes. Yeah.
Just eating drops.
Yeah. They're really a good source of an animal to have around. They're not a native species here. They were brought in for meat to eat way back in the pioneer days, but they still are a good scavenger, and they do help clean up your area. So, and they do help get rid of the ticks. So here's all different types of beaver. They come in different colors. Some of them are very, very rare. Most of these the game department were asked to have these removed because they were a nuisance. For one, they were taking out all the young willow and the larger willow trees, and they were damming up water sources and taking out the streams, which was flooding livestock area, roads. And so my dad was asked to come in and remove some of them. So this one here was sadly, it was an albino, which is very, very rare. You will hardly ever see those. He didn't intend to get it, but it did happen to get in his trap.
What are the two different colors?
This is an albino. This is your normal color of a beaver. And here's another rare one, which was a red.
I can take this.
Was this one here, a
Wow.
golden. And again, 1 out of 1,000 or more, will you ever get this or that? And unfortunately, they got in his trap. So he tanned them and is using those for educational programs. This here, if you see on here, is this is how they did them in for fur trading. And I have one right there that my dad did for educational programs.
What's this one with the map?
That is the actual map of the trapping posts from years and years ago. And you know, you've got Lewis and Clark, St. Louis River, Missouri River. This is the actual first trap line ever put in, and my dad studied that, and he put it on the back of this huge beaver.
Wow.
Because they didn't just write on paper. They would put them on stuff like this because it lasts forever. The difference between these beavers, when they made the top hats and they made the clothes, what they did, see how the hair's on here? And this one isn't, if you feel it. They would hand pluck all these guard hairs off. And then you would have this soft, soft plush, and you'd make your top hats. And your shoes, and your gloves. And that's how they did that. Wow. There's a smaller one that's been plucked. Here's one that hasn't. You see the difference? See all this long hair? They hand pluck, 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 pluck. And then you get this.
And look at that tail.
And this one actually still has his tail, which is kind of rare. Most of them the kids taken off. These are all been very loved by children. Like I said, this one and that white one, you probably will never see that again. I mean, it's pretty rare. But again, it was unfortunately they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, and this is a muskrat, which if you see is very similar to the beaver, and I think I had some more somewhere else too, but they would do stuff with them, gloves and stuff, just like they would the beaver. And they just take the guard hairs off. And a beaver, when it is skinned, they come out totally round. That is how they're skinned. They're not cut that way. This little guy, they come out. That is how they are. So you can always know when you see a beaver hide because they'll always be round.